Welcome to my channel, friends. I'm so glad that you stopped in today because I have a special video for all of you. We are going to be doing a transformation of before and afters, showing how paint and some craft supplies from the Dollar Tree can transform pretty much anything. Thanks so much for being here again, and now let's get crafting. Now, this turkey was picked up at Home Goods, and I have been searching far and wide for a turkey because I wanted to make one over to have a concrete cement look. So I was looking for a turkey that had a lot of detail. I ended up paying $15 for this turkey, and I was totally fine with that because turkeys, usually even this size, are easily $40 at certain decor stores. So I took it outside and I gave it a spray paint coat, and after that I'm now going to come in with white paint, and we are going to brush in that white paint into all of those crevices, and then use a paper towel and we're going to wipe away the excess. So this is not a dry brush technique. This is an actual saturated paint brush where we are going to just use a paper towel and wipe away. The more paint on there, the better, because it's going to really get into those crevices. Now we're going to go the opposite with our paintbrush. Now we're going to get very, very light on there with the brown and do a dry brush. So you can see that I took the majority of the paint off, got a little bit on the head, and I'm drying it off on that paper towel and then coming in so I can hit those top parts to really bring out all the definition and make it look like a beautiful concrete statue. At the top, I was just stippling on by just tapping it with my paintbrush to really define the turkey's beak, and what a transformation. I'm so happy with it. For this DIY project, we are going to be taking these super popular crates from the Dollar Tree, some of these larger tongue depressor sticks, and 2 of these handles that I picked up from Amazon. Now we're going to bring these 6 crates together with some hot glue and some wood glue, and I'm going to use these little clamp holders that you can also get from the Dollar Tree to really make sure everything is locking into place. And I'm just gluing them the long ways first, and then I'm going to bring them together and glue them together. This is going to create the cutest organizer, and I wanted to make something like this because I always have little treats and activities for my kids at certain points of the year, and I wanted to be able to organize those treats. Plus, you can use this however you want to organize it. You can put it inside of a linen closet or on a table. There are just so many fun places to be able to organize these things. Now on the ends of these crates, it has these holes, and I wanted to cover those up, so this is where the tongue depressor sticks are coming in. I'm cutting them down to the length of the side of the box, and then there is the last one. You can't all the way get 3 of these tongue depressor sticks on, so I had to cut one down a little bit thinner in size. But the neat thing about it is that the lines match up almost identical to the sides of these crates. So now I'm taking some white paint and I'm just going to do a really rough paint finish on it. You can paint it whatever color you want or do a full finish of paint. And now I'm going to take my drill and I'm just going to drill these handles onto the sides of the box. This is going to allow you to be able to pick it up whenever you want. You could even put school supplies in this. This would just be the cutest thing to have out on a table, and it really does get that high-end farmhouse look. And last, I'm going to add a dot of hot glue on the inside where the screws accidentally popped through because they are just a little bit too long, so the hot glue will address that and anybody being scratched in the future. And at this point, you can organize it however you want, but I'm going to be putting candy in mine since we're going into this fun candy season.
If you did not know, I am over on Instagram underneath the handle name Heidi Somble. I am always sharing all my sneak peeks on my stories and in my gallery. If you have not found me over there, I will link my account down below so you can get there really easy. Come on by and say hi to me.
I love using food cans because it is the easiest trash to treasure flip. I think that they are so affordable and you can do so many cool things with them to help organize things around your house and to make something beautiful on a budget. Now I took my 3 cans outside, spray painted them white, and now I'm going to cover them with different sizes of this fabric that I found that matches my color theme for today. One of the cans is going to have a nice thick piece of fabric from the top to the bottom, leaving the white rim poking out. And then the other one is going to have a much smaller band of fabric around it, leaving more white exposed. And then the tallest one, we're going to jazz it up a little bit by putting on this white star button and some twine as well. I simply took it and just wrapped it around and glued it into place. Nothing too crazy here. And then for the little star, I just added some twine into the holes of the button and glued it into place. Now at this point, this extra special jar is going to get a floral arrangement in it using those really beautiful frosted leaves from the Dollar Tree. And at this point, it is so fun because you can put whatever you want inside of them. You can't have a fall video without a pumpkin in it. So I wanted to share how I'm going to update the look of these DT pumpkins that you can get for $1 each. And I'm simply going to just pop out those top little pumpkin stems because we're not going to be using those. And then I'm going to put them on a shish kebab stick, and this is going to allow me to paint them without putting my fingers all over it and taking forever to paint it. I like to do this tip where I just like to poke a shish kebab stick in it, and it really lets me get that painted desired look without my fingerprints being all over it. Now I'm using a very taupey white color on this because I wanted it to have a concrete cement look. And then I'm coming back in with more of a brown, very soft tan brown, and I'm coming into the inner bumps of that pumpkin. Now the trick to get that really pretty concrete look is you go inside of that crack of the bump, and then you come back in with the lighter color on your finger and you massage it all into place, which will create that shading and that tinting. Once you're all done doing that, go ahead and take a stick from outside and you're going to just cut a hole into the pumpkin that's the size that you will need. Anytime I ever work with foam, you will see that I get that off my desk immediately because it goes everywhere every single time. It's such a messy thing to work with. And then I'm just going to hot glue my stick right down inside, add a little bit of this Spanish moss from the DT, and then on my smaller pumpkin, I decided it needed a leaf. So I'm going to put on this beautiful olive green maple leaf. And really, this is just going to complete that look. I'm only going to put it on one because I love the other one just being with the stick and the moss. I've seen a lot of friends DIYing these boxes, and when I was at the thrift store the other day, I actually came across one. I could not believe it. Now I got this half off on their half off day. I was so excited. So I went ahead and just took out all of the pre-existing outdated ivy, all this foam that was down in here, and then as well all of this Spanish moss. This stuff, I love using it in DIYs personally. Man, it makes the biggest mess. And I am kind of a neat freak when it comes to my crafting space. I like my table to be clean. I don't like things all over it, so you saw me there wiping everything down. Now before I took it outside to spray paint it this London gray, I ended up making sure that I dusted it all off as well because I wanted to make sure that it was really clean and it wasn't going to have any issues with the paint bonding. Once I did one coat of spray paint all over it, I'm going to take a tan color and come back in, not white because I think white is a little too stark for it. It'll take away from the beautiful grayish brown color it has. And I'm just going to lightly dry brush all over with that grayish tint. Now I'm going to use my E6000. This is my little key that I had a subscriber send me, and I will link it down below because I get people asking about it all the time now. It works so great for the E6000 bottles. I went ahead and just squeezed out some E6000 and some hot glue, and I put my foam in against the sides of that box. Now remember, you could definitely DIY this particular item. It's so easy with large tongue depressor sticks and a couple of those crate boxes from the Dollar Tree. It's so easy to recreate this look. Now I'm coming in with some beautiful golden tones and ivory florals and leaves and just really filling it in nicely. I don't want to go too high up because it'll cover up all that lattice work. And then I'm going to come in with this candle that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to remove the covering on it because I just want to get to the candle. And then I'm going to take a couple pieces of foam and I'm going to put them on the opposite sides of the spots because I want to make sure that the candle does not shift or slide around in there and it's nice and snug. So I went ahead and put those foam pieces in there, and now I'm going to come in with 2 peonies and I'm just going to pop those right into that foam on the front and the back, and that is going to complete this look, and it turned out even better than I thought. Friends, I say it all the time here, don't be afraid to go into a thrift store. A lot of friends are DIYing these from the Dollar Tree, and I picked this up from my thrift store and saved myself so much time by just giving it a facelift. This project cost me $15 to make. Now I will say you could definitely make it much cheaper if you already have a whole bunch of fabric on hand. I ended up doing about 1/4 of a yard to 1/2 of a yard depending on which fabric I was using of all of these different fabrics. And we are going to be making a beautiful rag banner with these bright, wonderful fall colors. So I'm going to take a twine that I want to be a certain length. You can make it whatever length you want. And I'm going to add on just 2 loop knots on the ends of this twine so that we can be able to hang it up and have a nice loop to be able to put that on a hook or a nail, wherever you decide to hang this up in your home. And I'm going to cut off the extra and make sure it's nice and tight. And now I'm going to start taking the fabric and I'm going to rip it. So it's really easy to do this. You're going to find the grain of the fabric and you'll know right away which way is the grain, because when you try to do this, one way will rip so smoothly and the other way will struggle. Once you've ripped everything up, go ahead and you're just going to loop on those fabrics. So I make it like the shape of a U, put it on the twine, and then I bring the ends through the loop so it's holding onto the twine. And then I just continue to do that. I create a pattern of how I want them to look, and I just stick to that order, going through all of the fabrics and repeating that pattern over and over again from one side over to the other end. And when you're done, this statement banner is the most beautiful banner and can be hung up all over your home. I just love it so much, and I hope you will give it a try. This particular project, I saw tons of online stores selling these for so much. Now I will say, with all of these individual corn pieces from the Dollar Tree that I picked up, Altogether, it cost $12 to create this, but I know that there are real corn packets that you can get out there that are much cheaper. I happen to have had these on hand because I've been collecting them from the DT for some time. So these particular candle holders are so expensive, and all it is just gluing on pieces of corn onto an actual glassed item and then locking them into place by taking some raffia and wrapping it around. Again, I could probably get away with making this much cheaper if I had used real dried out pieces of corn, but this is what I had on hand, and I wanted you all to see that you can get that high-end look for a fraction of the cost and really enjoy your home by customizing with beautiful fall pieces. For this project, we're going to be taking 2 of these wood fence posts, and I'm going to be cutting them in half. Now, I made sure I accounted for the very top part where it's arched. I went ahead and also cut that part off because I just wanted these to be flat pieces on both ends. I love these because these are still affordable pieces at your home improvement store. These have not gone up in price like most of the wood has. So I picked up 2 of these to make this sign. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring them together, all 4, to create a really adorable farm barn door wreath hanger. You can also use this for so many other things, to put hooks to hang jackets on, all kinds of fun projects for this. So you can see that I used some painter sticks. I used wood glue and hot glue, and then I stapled them into place on the back side. And then on the front side, this is how we're going to get that barn door look. I went ahead and created a middle piece that had angle cuts, and then the 2 long pieces that go across the width of the board. Now to give it that farmhouse look, I'm going to nail in 3 of the nail heads here on this side where the middle meets up to the ends, and then 2 on the other sides. Now I'm going to take some white paint, and I'm going to just do a really rough job painting this. I'm not trying to get every single thing covered to give it that farmhouse look. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a Wipey and wipe back off the paint off of the nail heads, leaving it looking a little bit rough with a little bit of paint on the nails where it looks like it's been outside and weathered for a long time. Then I did a little bit of light distressing and added a metal handle to the very top. I'll link these handles down below. I picked them up on Amazon. I love these, and I'm actually going to be using them on another project soon here on my channel. And then very last, I drilled another hole for my screw to hang up a wreath. I am taking all of these different florals, a mixture of past spring florals with some of the newest florals, to really cut down on the price and get that fall look. Now, this color theme is so fun. I wanted it to have that fall color where things are starting to become a little bit lighter from the cold weather outside. It's got that frosty look where it still is also bringing in those beautiful oranges and very soft pinks. Now I have a couple different ways I like to do my wreaths. First, on this wreath in particular, I'm using a zip tie, and I'm bringing together 3 of this peonies from the Dollar Tree, and I'm clustering them in 5 clusters, and then I'm coming back in and I'm also going to zip tie on bundles of these peach carnations, as well as this newer sprig from the Dollar Tree that has these beautiful peachy and white leaves. It's got that frosted look with the little pumpkins. Then I'm going to start to fill in these pink roses, because again, this is that muted tone that you start to see towards the end of fall, where everything is really starting to just get cold and icy outside. I thought these all came together so beautifully. Now I made sure to still add in some really bright, pretty orange, And then this boxwood as well from the Dollar Tree. I was so impressed that the Dollar Tree had all of these new floral picks this year. Another thing I added in were these white berries. These are all year long. You can find these at the Dollar Tree. And then some of this fall grass. I thought that this pop of green and yellow in here was perfect for this wreath, and it really got that look I was going for. And then the last thing I added in were some of these, I don't think they're Black Eyed Susans, but they're little sunflowers that are white, and it has the really dark brown center of it. I love that little pop in there. Now this completes the look. What do you think? I almost passed up this tray, but I had Calvin with me on this day, and he said, hey, what about this? This is round and this is orange. We were looking for particular items for this video, and I said, you know what? That would make the cutest pumpkin. So I picked it up thanks to his recommendation and his keen eye for catching, and I almost missed it. Definitely take a friend with you when you thrift shop, because sometimes you can find some cool things through the perspective of someone else. So I'm just going to take this cut down painter stick, and I'm going to put some hot glue, wood glue, and then 2 staples on it so that I can make a handle on it. Now I thought that this would be cute, the 2 different tones of these woods, and now I'm sketching on with my pencil, Hello Fall. I thought that that would be a really cute thing to put on and turn this into a pumpkin sign. What a fun way to be able to give it a new look by leaving the wood, and the orange color is actually perfect for this video's theme and the color I'm doing in my home for the fall season. Orange is actually my favorite color because it just is so happy and bright, and I really do just love color so much. So now I'm taking my time and I'm just hand painting on where I sketched out those letters. And once that was done and dry, I'm going to go ahead and take a whole bunch of ribbon, all different kinds and colors, going with the theme that I'm doing for these colors. And I'm going to just tie some of them, glue on some of them, pinch some of them, so they have all different layers to it. And then in the very center, I'm going to just add a simple star button because I love adding buttons to ribbons. I know it's a problem that I have, but I love buttons so much. I actually collect them. And now I'm going to just add a couple more ribbons to the back to make sure it's nice and full and chunky, because the more ribbons the better. I really just love how it finishes that look and makes it just look more luxurious with all that ribbon on there. And then the last to hang it up, I'm just going to take one more ribbon and glue it towards the top so I can hang it up on a wreath hook. And that completes this look for just a couple of bucks. These projects today were such easy transformations, and that is the point of crafting, to take something that's old or an idea that you have in your head and make it new and make it special. If you haven't already yet, please do give this video a thumbs up. It really does help out my channel every single time you give me a thumbs up. And if you're new and haven't yet clicked the subscribe button, I hope that you will consider doing that today. Thank you all so much for being here, and until the next episode, bye friends.